Hey everybody, welcome to the Rick and Kelly Show, episode 161. I'm Rick.
I'm Kelly. I cannot believe it's 161.
I know.
That's a lot.
It is a lot. It's more than 3 years worth.
Yeah.
More than 3 years. Well over 3 years of amazing shows with an amazing wife. 4-year anniversary right now.
I can't believe it. We're going to the dock for dinner, which I'm excited about. I'm so happy to be with you over these 4 years.
Can I show them the Instagram post you did today?
Well, they all saw it, I'm sure.
All right. Well, if you saw it, then great. If you haven't, go to Kelly's Instagram.
Well, I put the card away. I should have read it out loud.
Oh.
Tell them what it said.
Well, it said that I'm grateful for every day with you.
No, you said I would choose you again and again.
Yeah.
See, he didn't write it.
Well, no, I wrote the inside.
Yes.
The outside said I would choose you again and again and again. And you walked into that stationery store this morning after we worked out because you were looking for something, gift cards or.
Well, I went to
cards?
this place called Paper Source. My friend Julie Stupin bought me this thing, and it says Kelly on it. Really cute stationery. And I'm like, I'm going to buy some stationery for my friend Lisa. My friend Lisa's turning 49 in Arizona. And I went in there, and a stack of cards I think they said it was $300.
Oh my God!
I was like, wait, what?
You can order that.
I can order that
Online, right?
Yeah.
Well, I saw a card while she was in there that said
American stationery isn't that much.
I would choose you again and again and again and again. So I didn't have any money on me, and I went back there this afternoon. I bought you flowers, these beautiful hydrangeas.
I love hydrangeas. They're one of my favorites.
And then I stopped there and got that card because I really liked it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Coming up, the Teresa Giudice interview. We spoke to her for almost 45 minutes yesterday, and I thought it was a terrific interview. She was very transparent with us. Spoke a lot about her family issues and about issues with other cast members.
I am just shocked about the amount of hate that she gets from people saying that she's jealous of Melissa and Melissa's family, and I don't get that from her. I don't like Melissa Gorga. I met her. She is a snob. You would not like her if you saw her or met her. Joe was great.
He was cool.
He was cool. But I've met her so many times I can't even tell you. And she just really thinks that she is hot stuff.
She does. She thinks she's hot shit.
Yeah.
And people don't know because they only see what they see on TV.
Right.
And what I thought was one of the more telling stories that she shared was that when they asked Joey and Melissa to come on Real Housewives of New Jersey, Joey never said a word to her. They had Sunday dinner at Teresa's house like 3 or 4 days before Bravo announced it. They already knew that they were coming on the show. And they didn't tell Teresa or her husband.
Well, that's just deceptive.
Yeah.
That just goes to show you how deceptive they are, right? Why wouldn't they say?
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Well, anyway, that's coming up. I did want to share this video. I just said on the Smash the other day how stupid it was to be standing outside in a hurricane, and how glad I am I'm not doing it anymore. I can just anchor from behind the desk. And then here's Anderson Cooper in Hurricane Milton.
And the water now is really starting to pour over. If you look at the ground, whoa. Okay, that wasn't good. We'll probably go inside shortly, but you can see the amount of water here on the ground. You look at the ground, whoa. Okay.
Did you say it was styrofoam?
We'll probably go inside shortly.
He's so lucky that was styrofoam. He's so lucky because those winds can pick up almost anything. Remember, I used a stop sign as an example.
Mm-hmm. Wait, so I was just watching Rick on Newsmax just now. Mm-hmm. I know you have a rundown, but I just thought it was funny that CBS took Kamala Harris's interview and then they went and they turned it and they edited it into something else. Now, how can CBS ethically do that? That is like against all journalistic ethics, right?
It is. And I appreciate you pointing that out. it's standard to edit interviews, but what you don't want to do is change the intent or change the nature of the answer, right? You don't want to have someone say yes when they really meant no, or they said no and you have them saying yes. In this case, Harris was just like gobbledygook when she was asked a question about Israel, which she always does when she's asked stuff that she can't answer. She just starts filling the air with words and she says a lot of things, but it doesn't really make any sense and it doesn't wind up meaning anything. So what CBS did for 60 minutes, which is supposed to be the bastion of journalism, is they took one of her answers to a different question and inserted it.
Who caught that and who put that out there?
See, now CBS fucked up because CBS, the day of the interview, which was Sunday, put out a teaser. Oh, here, we interviewed Kamala Harris. Here's a clip. And it was her answering that question with her word salad. And the next day, when the show actually aired, an editor had taken out that nonsense and put in another answer to something else that actually made a little more sense to the question that Whitaker asked, but it wasn't Kamala's answer to that question. So it's deceptive. It's bad journalism.
It's unethical.
Unethical. Someone said Edward R. Murrow is rolling over in his grave.
What about Walter Cronkite?
Walter Cronkite is too. Guaranteed. It's like, what the F are you guys doing? This is not okay. And what I said
because
on my...
you're supposed to have... Journalism is supposed to be like just the facts, right?
Yes.
And the American people are supposed to take those from what people say and then make their own decision.
Right.
Now what's happening is that these mainstream media outlets are so far left that they are trying to negate the narrative here, right?
They're in the bag for Harris. And they're doing everything they can to try and get her elected. And I said on my show that it almost seemed conspiratorial. Like, who's behind this and why? Why are they trying so hard to get Harris elected and not Trump? And we watched that documentary, Line in the Sand, this week, and I actually have a clip from it. It was so disturbing. And there's so much more to this illegal immigrant story that isn't being told, and James O'Keefe told that story.
And I met James O'Keefe. He was the film was excellent. You have to watch it. It tells you how corrupt our government is. It goes and shows you what's happening at the border. I don't think people even have a clue of what's going on.
How many people are companies that are profiting tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars off of this crisis? And the children, that's why you were crying the other night, because these kids are being sex trafficked by the government, and no one will talk about.
And they're getting drugged. It is so disturbing on so many levels, and people have no idea. Mainstream media isn't covering this.
No,
they're putting a blind eye to this. They're not exposing this.
You know
why?
What?
Why aren't they?
Since we're talking about it, here's the clip.
Transportation of children, they stop the money. Tara Rodas witnessed her colleagues at HHS tell her that it didn't matter that children were sent to addresses flagged for sexual abuse.
When I brought that we were going to be sending another child to the same address, I was told, Tara, we only get sued if we keep kids in care too long. We don't get sued by traffickers.
A whistleblower with access to the Unaccompanied Child Database portal revealed this never-before-seen document indicating ORR sending this child to abusers over and over and over and over again. And in fact, the document proved the government knew the child had been identified as a victim of sex trafficking.
Recently, in a hearing, the secretary was asked about vetting. He revealed that, well, we actually don't even ask if they're legally in the country.
Why aren't they asking if they're legal?
The more vetting they do, the more slow the process is, and you can't move 500,000 children in 3 years if you're asking a lot of questions.
What that means is they're sending kids to homes where they already know there are sex offenders or where kids have been molested or abused. And they knowingly are sending more children to risky situations because they need to move the pieces around and keep things going so they can keep collecting those checks. It is beyond disgusting what's going on.
I'm disgusted, and I think we need to get the word out. And believe me, I am not a conspiracy theorist, never have been. But I do like facts, and I think that we American people are smart enough to. It's just so mind-boggling to me that when I hear people on the Smash like make up things, and I'm just like, because you're listening to these people.
Well, how about Harris keeps blaming Trump? Remember when they were saying, oh, they're putting kids in cages?
Yes.
That's better than putting a kid in a sex offender's house and then letting him go to another sex offender's house. I'm sorry, but it is.
You don't put kids in cages.
And the kids weren't in cages anyway. It was all propaganda. But Harris continues to deflect and has not once accepted any responsibility for any of the crimes being committed by illegals in America, hasn't accepted any responsibility for the hundreds of thousands of children that they have allowed into the U.S. that they claim were with relatives when they weren't, and people knew they weren't their relatives, and they let them go anyway. They're coming in with sex traffickers and sex offenders, and people are just like, who knows? They're probably selling the kids. They lost track of hundreds of thousands of children.
And by the way, when you watch this film, you guys, these people know exactly where they're going. They're like, he's like, where are you going? North Carolina, going to Charlotte, going to Detroit, going to Phoenix, going to New York.
And he kept looking.
It's somebody is giving them marching orders and telling, how do they know where to go?
Right, that's what James O'Keefe kept saying.
And someone is profiting, someone's making money, and
the cartel is making money.
And you can see that these all of these people that are working for the border and all them, they all hate Biden. They all hate Kamala.
Well,
why is that? And they're the ones who are funding them right now.
I want to say, it does not paint the Border Patrol in a very good light, this film, Line in the Sand. I went to the border. But
it's a very, very, very hard job. My friend Shelly Hebbets, I grew up with my whole life. Her husband was a border patroller. It is so dangerous. It is unbelievable. Those cartels are ruthless.
Well, but there's more to it. I've been to the border multiple times, the Canadian border and the southern border, and I've done ride-alongs with the Border Patrol. But when I was there, this was during the Trump presidency, and they were doing their job, and they were being encouraged to do their job. They were actually trying to catch these guys. They knew that they were criminals and they were illegally crossing, and they would track them down and catch them and kick them out. That's what they were doing their job, and they were dedicated law enforcement. Now they know that all they're doing is catching people and handing them over to people who process them and let them in. And they're like, why bother? That's why the guy was standing there and they were just sitting in their car and they're not doing anything, because why should they? Because they know that the wrong thing is going to happen.
But these people, you guys, aren't Mexicans that are coming through. They're Asians. They're from Somalia, from Africa.
Afghanistan.
They're Afghanis. They're probably terrorists. They're not from Mexico. So somebody is plotting, employing, and getting these people from around the world coming up through Mexico. Mm-hmm. You guys, we have to open up our eyes and see what's going on here. Okay?
Thousands of Chinese nationals. And when you say probably terrorists, it's documented that there are hundreds, if not thousands, knowingly connected to terrorist organizations, ISIS and beyond, overseas, coming from some of the worst countries in the world that hate us the most, coming into America. Why are they here? What are they doing here? Well, I know experts in the field who think that there are terror cells being already created in America, that are just waiting for orders on when to strike.
And that's another thing I don't understand. Like from Teresa Giudice, right? Her husband's been here since he was born. He came here when he was like 6 months old or something. And he's got 4 daughters here. They deport him. He's not allowed back into the country. He's been here his whole life. He's paid taxes, allegedly. And she paid his taxes, actually. Teresa paid his taxes for him. Uh-huh. And you're allowing all these people, and he was in ICE for 8 months, and you're allowing all these people that are undocumented, putting stresses on our country and our infrastructure, on our schools, on our educational system, on everything.
Yeah.
On our food, on our power, on everything. And you're just allowed. I just don't know how this is so backwards.
But Teresa made the point that you had already made.
Yeah, about
that
Anna Delvey.
Anna Delvey on Dancing with the Stars. They gave her an ankle bracelet, said, go ahead, take a flight to L.A., be on a TV show. She was convicted of a crime, and she's not a legal U.S. citizen, is my understanding.
You want to talk about ripping off people? That lady was ripping off people left and right, that Anna Delvey.
And here's her ex-husband, who's got children in America, daughters. He paid his debt to society, and they won't let him back in the country.
It's so screwed up. It is so screwed up what's going on here. It is so screwed up.
Well, that's the and we voted for it. Not we, but the general we in America voted for
their democracy that's getting what is it saying? The democracy that's getting threatened.
Our democracy is threatened. Yeah, our democracy is being threatened by the millions of illegals being allowed to come in here, and then they're just going to let them vote. And now, what does that do to our system? When you have people who didn't come in here the right way, who are only trying to, I guess, reward the...
And it's not like we're not here and we don't think we should have immigrants. Of course we think we should have immigrants. Absolutely.
Most of us are the children or grandchildren or great-grandchildren of immigrants.
But you have to come in the right way and do it, and there's a process, and you have to abide by that process.
Right. I do want to welcome at least 17 new patrons this week, including Karen Badeau, Michelle, who edited her pledge to party. Join us on our Zoom call every week. Diane.
No one likes it on Sundays, so we're going back to Sundays, y'all.
Sunday morning.
Sunday mornings.
Diane, Kathleen Stawiarski, Terry Box, Bree, Alessandra Carden, Nelda Fink. Laura signed up for the full year. Thank you, Laura.
Thanks, all of you.
Heather, Haley Holland, Lee G, Tiki, Mary Fortman, Lydia, Helena. I think Helena's from Great Britain. It's hard for me to sometimes tell what those little symbols are. And Sandra Mastrangelo.
Oh, you mean you don't know like the pound?
From Canada.
Or the euro?
Sometimes I can't tell if it's the euro or the pound, and I should know the difference. I'm pretty sure it was a pound. Correct me if I'm wrong, Helena. Welcome to all of you. Welcome to the Rick and Kelly Show. This was the Biden...
Wait. Can I just give my condolences? You don't know her, Rick, but Lydia McLaughlin, she's the nicest lady. Girl, and she was on the show with me, and her mom was so cool.
Yeah. And
she just passed away, and I think from breast cancer. I'm not certain, but that's what I heard. I'm so sorry, Lydia. She was a cool lady.
Yeah.
She was always at these pixie dust things. Vicky's son-in-law yelled at her for putting her feet up on the floor. You didn't see it, but it was pretty entertaining.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
This was Biden. Kelly wanted to share this from Biden earlier Thursday, talking about Trump.
His plans relating to retaliation.
He's coming over to help with a storm.
Mr. President, have you spoken with former President Trump at all?
Are you kidding me? Mr. President Trump, former President Trump, get a life, man. Help these people.
Will you hold him accountable? You said you were going to hold Booth accountable.
Public will hold him accountable. You better than the press hold him accountable because you know the truth.
Do you plan to speak with former President Trump?
No.
He said that Trump wasn't being honest.
And he always goes, "Hey, man, what is up with that, man? Yeah, man."
You're going to say Trump wasn't honest, and you and Hunter lied and covered up his laptop and let everyone else tell lies about his laptop not being his laptop when it was his laptop all along. You lied about your affiliations, your meetings with the people who were paying your son millions of dollars for influence.
What about all the stuff that he had in his garage just sitting there?
Classified documents. And Trump put up 270 line workers at Mar-a-Lago before this Hurricane Milton. So they had a place to stay before they headed out to repair lines. So he did do something.
Right.
And he is doing something. And this guy...
He's a joke.
He's a joke. He's pathetic. And...
he needs to get a life, man.
But speaking of the hurricane, our thoughts and prayers remain with Kula Salavaris, who is a patron and whose restaurant we visited
She did really well on your Newsmax.
I had her on Newsmax.
She's sharp, isn't she?
She's really sharp, but she speaks from the heart. She's a warm, wonderful person, and her business was trashed, and she was in the process of starting to fix stuff when Milton headed towards her part of the world. So when I texted her earlier. She had gone to Orlando to escape the storm. She thinks her house is fine because it's elevated, but she didn't know when I texted her about her business and whether Tarpon Springs was underwater again because
you can't be there.
And they lost power, and it's hard to communicate with anyone there. So she'll probably find out very soon. But we do have she set up a GoFundMe page. Kelly encouraged her to do it. We gave. If you guys want to give, we'll put the link in the show description for Coola's.
And if you can't, you probably can't click on it, then you have to copy and paste it and put it into your browser if it doesn't work. Because we had a lot of problems with that before.
Yeah, I think I fixed it. This was the red carpet for Line in the
there's
Sand.
Elizabeth Vargas right there. I told her she was lucky she apologized to me before going on to this thing.
Yeah, she's like, that would have been awkward if you didn't. and she apologized to me too, and I appreciate that she apologized. And I started to ask her, like, what the hell was that? And then I was just like, you know what, we don't have to talk about it. I mean, she made some very...
I think she's got a lot of issues, like emotional issues. And, mental issues.
She seems...
And, she
better.
She seems better.
She does. Yeah.
But she said to me, she goes, I heard that you're going to be back on Housewives. I'm like, where would you possibly hear that? Like, it's like she wants to kiss my ass.
Yeah.
And it's like, why would you say something like that when that's not true?
Well, maybe she did hear that.
No, she didn't.
There's been a lot of chatter about it.
And by the way, Rick, that show would not be good for your career.
Yeah.
Okay? Like, it already destroyed, it already is destruction on so many other levels. And it's not good for our relationship, and it's not good for your career. It doesn't.
I want you to find a show that works for you.
Yes.
And I think that you will. I'm confident you will. You deserve, you belong on television. You're so good at it. And if it's not Housewives, then it should be something else. If it's regular guest appearances on other shows, whatever it is, you deserve to be getting these roles that other housewives and former housewives are getting.
Thank you.
You earned that. And you're very, very good on TV. And it's a shame you're not on TV. And I wish
I'm right here.
Right.
And I have a lot of great, loving followers that watch every single day.
Yep.
And I'm so grateful to all of you. And you guys get to see my life in its perpetuity.
So someone tipped us off that I was in the Menendez Brothers documentary.
Not Monsters.
Not Monsters, which is awesome. But the other one that just came out on Netflix. And we did show this on the Smash, but not everyone here watches the Smash. And I thought it would be cool to share this moment because we watched this entire documentary, and it wasn't until 10 minutes left in it that this popped up.
The Beverly Hills brothers, convicted of killing their parents, have been reunited in a Southern California prison. This week, Eric Menendez moved into the same housing unit as his brother, Lyle.
It felt like it was finally a chance to heal.
Does that feel different? Like now you're showing your teeth and and you talk with a smile now.
I do.
Do you feel different with having your bags and your teeth done?
It's funny. Like I watched that and I almost didn't recognize the guy. I'm like,
the guy? You mean yourself?
Yeah. I'm like, I look fat. My teeth were bad. I had bags under my eyes, and I don't know. I'm like, I'm a new man. Thanks to you. Thanks to you. I am a new better version of myself in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I mean, how much do you think you weighed there?
probably, I was typically around 195, 196. And now I think today I'm 184.
Yeah.
I'm at least 10 pounds lighter.
And why do you think that is?
Better living, better cooking, healthier lifestyle. I'm getting more exercise. I'm living in California. I'm living in, nice weather. We do a lot of biking, do a lot of walking. We go to the gym. I mean, I went to the gym then, but I was doing more like weights.
Yeah.
And I was eating a lot of garbage.
Yeah, you said you would have a bagel every morning?
I would often have a bagel and cream cheese for breakfast. A big bagel with a lot of cream cheese on it, like almost every day. And I would eat a lot of like chicken parm with a lot of pasta. And I just, I didn't really think about being healthier. And I also would snack on M&Ms and jelly beans at night when I was going to sleep, and occasionally I will have a snack at night because I do like to snack, but it's nowhere near what I used to do.
Yeah.
I'm just better off. And again, I give you
Thank you, babe.
the credit for making me a better man.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thanks. That makes me feel so good.
Well, I feel good, and I'm just really, really grateful. I had a Kamala story in here. I just want to say, like, the fact that she will not acknowledge any responsibility for what she did to this country. She's never once said she's sorry for all these crimes being committed by illegals who they let in. She keeps trying to blame Trump for it when for 3.5 years, 3 years before they even introduced that bill, they dropped all of his policies and let everyone in. And the fact that she just keeps avoiding the questions.
You know what I find really disturbing about her?
What?
Is that she flip-flops.
Yeah.
You don't know what the hell her policies are.
Yeah.
I mean, 1 minute she's for fracking, the minute she's not for fracking. She's like, it's like you don't even know what her agendas are.
Well,
because she keeps flip-flopping.
She's sneaky and she's calculating, but she's also, I don't think, that smart. I know she was Attorney General. I know she got a law degree.
Well, no, she didn't pass her bar the first time, which, I mean, all my friends are all lawyers here, and they all passed it the first time. They said it was hard, but they all passed it the first time.
Yeah.
The only one I know that didn't pass it the first time was Shane, Emily's husband. Even Emily passed it the first time. But, like, she did a lot of, she got into the right places with the right people.
Mm-hmm. And she was dating the mayor of San
It's
Francisco.
not like she's a freaking scientist. She went to law school. Do you know how many lawyers there are? I'm sorry. There's a million freaking lawyers out there. There's a million lawyers.
Happy anniversary to us.
Thank you, baby.
Happy anniversary to us.
Thank you.
Thank you for 4 incredible years. 5, really. 5 incredible years. That's a string.
Thank you.
And many, many more.
Oh, can I just tell them really quick that what just happened? I'm talking to Heather McDonald on the phone. She asked me to go to this Hammett thing with her on the 22nd with this really rich lady, try to be influencer. So she says to me, she writes me and she goes, she's this really rich lady from Texas that lives in Laguna. She's blonde. I go, you just described all of Newport Beach.
It's true. It's true. It's true. It's a hell of a town.
She goes, that was so funny.
We hope you guys have an incredible week. We really appreciate your support here. We are going to interview James O'Keefe. I mean, he said he'll do it. So I really want to talk to him and want him to share his stories with you guys firsthand.
I really want you guys to watch it first. I don't know where they can watch it.
Line in the Sand should be in theatrical release now. If you check your listings, I mean, it's probably not in every theater, but you should be able to find it somewhere in your
yeah,
wherever
you can
you live.
just Google it. And I want you guys to watch it first.
Yeah.
And please, 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 I beg you, like, make those questions happen so we can ask the, sometimes it's hard for us, not for him, but for me, I like to have questions from you guys.
Yeah.
I find it easier on us.
Yeah. No, but it's also good because you're coming from a different place and everyone has a different perspective and we're happy to share your questions with him. And quite often the questions match ours, and sometimes you come up with stuff that we hadn't thought of.
Wait, can we just talk about really quick? Can I show the little? We won't say his name, but we have this neighbor here, and We have this neighbor here, and he has got to be the nicest guy. He lives right on the water here in Lido.
Yeah.
And he sent us this beluga Russian vodka, and I guess this is contraband
He
here.
said, hey, this is the best vodka ever made from Russia. It's contraband beluga. Do not mix it. Straight shots or over ice only. God bless. He's a really, really nice guy. And he just dropped us off at our front door after we saw him driving by. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. Without further ado, Teresa Giudice. We think this interview, if you have some mixed feelings about her, we think this interview might change your mind. She's
Yes.
a warm, wonderful person. I know I used that earlier about Kula, but Teresa is a nice, really nice
She's
lady.
a really nice lady. She's
And I'll say it again, I like Louis.
I do too. I love Louis.
Yeah.
I do. And you guys, if you met them and got to know them, you would think the same thing.
I think so.
Yeah,
I mean, he gets a bad rap.
he does.
All right. Have a great week, everybody, and we'll see you
Take
next
care,
week.
everybody. Have a nice weekend. Okay, love you all.
Wait, where are you at right now? Are you in your basement?
No, this is Louis converted one of our garages into a podcast room. Look.
Oh my
That is
God.
so
Let me see
smart.
it.
How come I can't, can you see me?
Yeah, well, we see you. You can't see us?
Oh, okay, because like I see your whole house. So this is, you see all that stuff
Oh,
right there?
Cool. Those slats are neat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he had this all built. Look, on air. You see it all?
Oh my
Yeah.
God, that is so professional. He has a soundproof.
And then look, he had this whole desk put in, like all of this. Look at this.
Oh,
Look, this is
yeah.
the back of the garage. He had this all made from a wood guy.
Oh,
This is
That's what I was going to do with one of the houses we were looking at. Is build a
Yeah.
studio in the garage.
This
I
is
love that.
office/pot studio. His
That
office.
is so cool.
But now he got a new office, so now he's not here anymore.
Oh my God.
Now I get to use it. Yeah.
That is so cool. Oh my God.
Hey, Teresa, we're recording this now.
Okay.
We're doing this for our patrons on Patreon, and we'll share a couple clips with our YouTube viewers as well.
All right. Beautiful.
Wait, I want to talk about the House of Villains. You just got all dolled up for the House of Villains.
Yes, I have a premiere viewing party tonight in Brooklyn with Candy Muse. Do you guys know who she is?
No.
Oh, she was a drag queen on our show, Candy
Oh.
Muse. So you have to watch the show. Yeah, and she's amazing. Got along so great with her. And so the two of us are having a viewing party in Brooklyn tonight.
Oh, how fun.
What was
Just
that
have my makeup done and say it again.
Tell us about Traders. What was that experience
No, it's
like?
a trader.
So, House of Villains.
Sorry, House of
And
Villains.
it's on E. It's on E, right?
Yes, it's on E tonight at 10 p.m. my time, Eastern.
Tonight. I want to
And-
watch it.
Yeah,
I'll
so
put it on
it's
my TV.
tonight and tomorrow night, 10 p.m. And then after this week, every Thursday at 10 p.m.
Oh my gosh. Can you
Yeah, and I heard it's playing on Bravo tonight at 10:30 p.m. our time.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's
It'll be like 7.
Bravo 10:30 p.m. That's someone told me. I don't know.
Yeah, but I'm going to be on at 10 p.m. doing a special hurricane coverage on Newsmax.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. I just want to say my heart goes out to everyone. I hope everyone is safe. Like my daughter just got home Monday. She goes to the University of Tampa. And I can't believe, my brother-in-law lives there. He lives in St. Pete's, 20 minutes from Tampa.
Yeah.
He's been living there 8 years. He said, nothing like this has ever happened. I'm like, of course, my daughter goes to Tampa. And she had to come home 2 weekends in a row because of the hurricane. And it's I'm so nervous. It's scary.
Right.
And I wanted to get a house in Florida. Now I'm like, I don't know about that. I'm like, oh my God, scary.
It's a constant threat every summer.
Wait, do I need to talk into this or you guys hear me?
We hear you.
Pretty good.
Oh, all right, good. Okay.
So wait, sorry, what was the show?
House of Villains.
House of Villains. How
Yeah.
long? How long?
I
is
know,
it?
Steve Rick, I'm not a villain, so that's why you're confused. You're like, House of Villains? How could that be? Wait,
Recommending me for that show.
I recommended you. Yes. And not that you're a villain, because I recommended you and Kenya Moore.
Oh.
But I know they showed Kenya Moore, me saying Kenya's name, but you know what? But they wanted us to, to tell other celebrities about it. And say it was, and they wanted us to say, was it, if it was a good experience for you, it was a good experience for me. And I think it was a good experience for everyone.
How long was it? How long were you there?
It depends how well you do. That's how long you stay.
Oh, so you can't say.
Yeah, I can't say, but the most you could be there is, I would say, a month.
Oh my God.
And is it like a Survivor situation where you try to eliminate people and you try to survive?
Yeah, you go through challenges, and yes, every week someone gets voted off.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of like the Housewives. Each year someone gets voted off.
Yeah. And then at the end, there's 2 people left, and then you have to vote, and whoever wins.
Oh my God! So it's like Survivor.
I guess there was a guy there from Survivor, Rich.
Was there food, like good food there?
Oh yeah, I mean, whatever you want, they'll order for you. They give you menus of what to order. Whatever you want, they'll get you, because it's I was getting post-traumatic stress because I really was, because it's like you can't leave the house. So it's like you're in this house. So I kind of felt confined, and I felt like it was like jail. But it was like,
oh my God, I would be claustrophobic.
I was just going to ask you if you were in a hotel and you'd go back and forth.
No, you stay at the house. Yeah, you stay at the house the whole time. If you win
PTSD.
But listen, if you become the villain of the week, have you guys watched the first episode?
No.
Okay, if you become
villain of the first one. Tonight's the first one, right?
Yeah, the first one of season 2.
Yeah, I haven't watched season 1. No, but I will watch it.
So when you become the villain of the week, you get to go out that day. And you get to bring 2 people with you. That's the only time and then you go out when you do certain challenges. Yeah, you go out when you do certain challenges. Otherwise, sometimes you're stuck in the house for a few days.
I would freak out. I would freak out.
You're allowed to go outside. Like they had a pool at the house, so you could lay out if you want, and they really get reality, like what's going on for the day.
Wait, let me ask you, how long were you in prison for?
11 and a half months.
And you couldn't go outside or anything? Like you couldn't?
Oh yeah, I could go outside. Yeah, I worked out every day. I did yoga every day. I read books. I wrote my first memoir, Turning the Tables.
Yeah.
And I was there. And
let me ask, are you going to do another book? Are you going to do another book soon?
I need to do part 3. Yes. My, how I met Louis, because I have 2 memoirs.
Yeah.
So now I have to write about my happy ending, with Louis. Yes.
I talk about you and Louis so much because we love you guys and we just get along and we have so much fun together. And I find Louis to be just so doting and loving to you. And, people have negative things to say about, just like people say negative things.
Well, you know why? Because of my cast members, because the narrative that obviously Margaret put out there, because she didn't have a storyline. So of course she used, my husband as her storyline. And unfortunately my brother and his wife, attacking my, at the time was my boyfriend, then my fiance, then my husband, it's so sad, so like you had that. And I never thought that my brother was going to that the whole scenario was going to happen again. Cause if you watch season 3, when he came on the show, he actually is wants a fist fight. Him and my ex-husband are going at it at his son's christening. Yeah. Right there, just shows you, my brother came on. I didn't know this at the time. He came on to make a bang and to be this, he wanted to be a star, but on his sister's back, which is sad. Because who ruins their son's christening? Who does that? Never in a million years. If my brother was on a TV show first and they called me, guys, I would have called my brother right away. I would have been like, Joe, they just called me. I just want you to know that, they called me to interview me for the show. And I never got a phone call. I got a phone call from Bravo, and I think I have to, if I not mistaken, it was Randy Cohen saying the new housewives are going to be your sister-in-law and your cousin Kathy. And I'm like, what? My jaw dropped. Like literally, guys, my jaw dropped. I was like, they were just at my house last week. Why didn't they tell me? Like I couldn't I was telling them everything that was happening on the show at the, while I was filming it, because they're my family. Right. So they would come over for Sunday dinner and I was telling them what was happening because it's my family. And then meanwhile, the whole time, my sister-in-law was emailing Danielle Staub, was emailing her the whole, remember when I pushed Andy Cohen, guys?
Yeah.
And remember, I don't know if you guys watch it back. Danielle
started watching it last year.
But I did. You know what made me so upset is that Danielle said that I didn't go see my nephew in the hospital. And I was like, what? And that's when I flipped out and I went crazy because I was like, yes, I did. What are you talking about? And then when I yelled at her, don't bring up my family.
Yeah.
So Bravo saw that and like, they saw, I'm just saying like right there was like dollar signs, like, oh my God. And then I guess she was trying to, she was contacting my producers, talking to Danielle Staub, emailing with her. That's where she got that info from, because Danielle got that from speaking to, my sister-in-law, that I didn't go see my nephew in the hospital. Meanwhile, I did. I did go see my nephew. That's why I went so crazy, guys. Like nobody knows the truth.
Well, I understand, but people want to know, and I've never asked you this because I don't look at you like being on that show. So that's why I never asked you questions. But the questions that someone asked me, what happened between you and Dina?
No, I asked her to be in my wedding. And she said yes, but then she didn't want to be filmed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So and I was like totally fine with it. And that was it. She didn't feel comfortable coming to New Jersey, unfortunately, because you guys, I'm sure have heard what happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well, this is what I wanted. Do you think Caroline Mazzo is part lesbian or bisexual?
I have no idea. I have no idea. Nothing surprises me nowadays. You know what I mean? I have no idea. But like you have to, like that was something you have to ask. I mean,
Are you friendly with Caroline? Do you talk to her? Yes.
No, I do not talk to her. Absolutely not. No. No, because of what happened on the show, she went against me too. Disgusting. No.
Yeah, I hear you.
Do not speak. And if you want to get a straight answer, if that really did happen, Phaedra was there. Like there was other housewives there that saw what happened.
Gretchen too. Gretchen said the same.
Okay. Yeah. So
I talked to Gretchen too.
So I heard stuff too. Like, whoever you talk to that was actually there, they could tell you the truth.
Yeah, I know. And they do. And it's weird that Bravo has a gold mine right there in front of them and they don't want to air this. Everybody wants to watch this one. This would be the biggest golden ticket for Bravo if they could air this.
I mean, I can't. I mean, listen, I can't say anything about that.
Yeah.
I had a couple of questions just to back up to Joey for a minute. Why do you think that he and Melissa didn't tell you that they were they were going to be on the show?
I have no idea because, well, first of all, Melissa, I don't even
know that this show is going to ruin your relationship with your brother if he got on. Did you know that was going to happen?
No, but I did. I saw that Caroline, Dina, and Jacqueline, what it was doing to their relationship. And I was like saying to myself, I was like, I would never do this show with my family. And then look what happened. So never say never. Because then it happened to me. Like never in a million years. Because I have one brother and oh my God, I lived for my brother. You know what I'm saying? I used to fight with Joe and used to say to him, my brother comes first. I knew my brother first. Like I used to, like
is he younger than you? Is your brother younger?
Yes, 2 years.
That's why.
My brother, my brother could do no wrong. I did everything for my brother. When I tell you everything, like cleaned his room, went shopping for him, used to buy his clothes. Like when he got married, when I first got married, he was at my house every single day. That's how come he was so close with Gia. He adored Gia. He was Gia's godfather. And he was with me the whole time, like always, like looked up to me, always would get my approval for everything.
Do you think you guys will reconcile?
Absolutely not.
Wow, really?
Absolutely not. Yes. No, sorry. I gave him.
Sometimes things are toxic, and it's better just to stay away from each other.
Yeah, no, I've given him plenty of chances. I didn't deserve what he did to me. I mean, to use me as his, as a storyline, to come at. I mean, I met this amazing man, and then he attacks him on national TV. Unforgivable. And that was the thing too. I didn't even want to bring him on the show. Guess who brought him on the show and introduced him to everyone on the show? Because I wanted to take my time, Kelly. You know how it is when you meet someone. You don't want to just bring them on the show. You want to make sure it's the right thing before bringing them on.
Right.
He told everybody about Louis. Oh, Teresa, my sister met a great guy, this amazing guy. If you watch the show, you'll see that it was.
He did. He spilled the beans first.
Exactly. Thank you. It's my story to tell. Why? Because why are you telling my story? It's my story.
Yeah.
So it's he's been riding my coattails for the past over 10 years. I'm done.
I didn't see this. I saw that on Instagram that you had a psychic that came on your show.
Yes.
And your show. How can people find your show?
Turning the tables on. I'm on Her Dat Media.
Okay.
Wherever they find their podcast, wherever they get
by podcast. What did your psychic say who's going to be on next year and who wasn't?
She said, I think
you're returning, right?
I mean, listen, and I even said to her, I'm like, are you sure you want to put this out there? Because this is going to live out there, so it's not like I told her what to say, guys, because this is her reputation, not mine,
Right.
Yeah, she said, because that's the thing. I don't know what's happening, we never know what's happening.
Never know until the last second.
Right. So I have no idea. So, do I want to go back?
Who's going to get fired? Who's going to get fired?
She said that I was returning. Dolores was returning. She said Jennifer, it was where she wasn't sure about Jennifer. The thing is, if you really want to hear exactly what she said, you need to go.
I'll listen to it. That's now listen to it.
That's a good tease.
That's a good tease.
I don't want to say the rest because I don't remember specifically.
No, that's a good tease. Now we'll all go over and listen.
But do you think that you will go back? Do you want to go back?
Oh, I have no idea. It's up to Bravo, of course. Bravo, they're the ones that, they're the ones that say if I will go. If it's even going to come back.
Does your production company? Who is it? Shed Media?
No, it's Sirens Media.
Sirens Media.
Do I want to go back, Ricks? Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Okay. Why would she?
But I understand, there's great financial motivation, but you also do have to deal with a lot of negativity. And wanted to ask you how you and Louis handle all of that.
Well, I'm really strong because I know who I am and I walk with my head up high. And Louis, since he's been hanging out with me, he's become very strong. Yes. Because, and I mean, come on, you guys met him. I say to him, you're I wouldn't adore someone if he wasn't amazing. You guys, you say, So I said to him, follow my lead. Walk with your head up high. Screw what anybody else says. Listen, he was new at this, Rick. He was never on TV. He didn't want to be on TV. He fell in love with Teresa Giudice, not Teresa Giudice from the Real Housewives of New Jersey. He fell in love with Teresa. And would I have wanted to keep him off TV and just me be on? Of course, I would have loved that. But obviously, if you're with someone, Bravo,
they want you to see
your whole life. Yeah, they want to see your whole life. And I was fine with showing it, because of course I said, are you okay with, being on? And of course he said, yes, he didn't have nothing to hide.
And he wanted to support you.
Oh, and that was the thing. That's why he did it, to support me. Would I have wanted to quit Housewives and ride into the sunset? It's not really, because it's that's my job. And he wanted to, he said to me, I'm not going to tell you to quit your job to be with me. You know what I mean? So he was he's I'm supporting you. And I wouldn't want to show my kids that either, that I'm just quitting my job, just to be with someone, so it took a lot for him to come on, because if you really do watch, I even said to him, did you watch the show? He did, he did watch some of it. And he just said, I'm like, didn't you see? Because what my brother did to me and the things that he said, and like, wouldn't you be more cautious and like be, and have your guard up more? And he said, Teresa, he's like, I trusted your brother. He's like, he didn't think that what he did with, when I was with Joe, that he was going to do to him. Like he believed my brother, like he trusted him. And I was just like, I guess I was fooled too, because my brother really loved Louis, and he wanted, he was, as soon as he met Louis, this is what pissed me off. He took him to start seeing properties, and he wanted him to get into business with him. And it's like, no, like, what are you doing? Like this, I just met this guy. Like, why are you showing him properties? Like, and then, Louis came home. He's like, your brother showed me this property. He wants me to invest $2 million. I'm like, absolutely not. Yeah. I'm like, you're not getting into business with my brother. I'm like, no. Right. And then the whole pizza oven thing, they got into that. And I even told Louis, did you put it in writing? No. Why? He's like, I trusted your brother. And I said, why would you put up all the money? It was $250,000. I'm like, why would you put up all the money? Like, he should have made my brother put half, and he put, both of them.
I watched all that. Yes, I was totally on that one.
It's like Louis put up the money because Louis, Louis thought my brother was helping me out, and I was like, you got the wrong brother. I'm like, like Louis is like that, with his sister, but like my brother is not like that with me. My ex-husband went to jail. When Joe went to jail, no one helped me. Like, I did everything on my own.
Can I ask you a question? Does Joe and Melissa both get paid?
No. I mean, I'm sure my brother gets paid because he does interviews. So yeah. I don't know for a fact, but my brother does interviews, so I'm sure he gets paid too.
Right. Okay.
Because no other husband does interviews.
Did your daughters hate?
Frank did interviews, so I'm sure they paid him too. I mean, I don't know for a fact. But listen, if you're doing interviews. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And
they never do any of the house husbands in any other franchise.
Right. And kids get paid after 18.
Yeah. See, that's why my daughter hated it so much. She's like, I'm working and they're not throwing me any bones. She didn't like it.
Well, after 18, you get paid after 18.
Because Julie's a lot like Gabriella. They're private. They're quiet.
Yeah. Like Gabriella would never want to, she wouldn't. Yeah, she's private. And I respect that. Like, that's why with Gabriella, we only filmed here. She did not want to film at her campus. She's like, absolutely no, not. And I respected that. Like, right. I would, they were fine with us filming there, but she didn't want to.
That was one of the questions from our patrons, because we asked them to give us questions for you. And one of them was, would you do a reality show with just your family and Louis, just you and your girls and Louis?
I mean, I would, it's just a lot.
I think that would be easier.
I mean, it's just, to me, it's a lot of focus on just our family. So it's just it's a lot, but I think, listen, if it happened, I think we could, I think we would do it.
I think it would be actually easier than dealing with all the stuff.
A lot.
It's like Sorority Survivor. Doesn't it feel like it's like next year, you don't know whether you're going to be on next. It's like, you don't know. For you to be on this long is truly a testament. It's a lot. And so I just think that, what was I saying? I don't know. I forgot what I was saying, but being on this show is hard.
To survive that.
To survive, because these girls are vicious.
Yeah.
They're after you. And then
that it happened. And then the Fudas came up with that lie that Louis contacted his baby mama in jail. It's like, first of all, I didn't even know his baby mama. We didn't even know his baby mama was in jail. So he opened up that can of worms on his own, and then he got eaten up all alive because then all those rumors came out, the double-sided dildo, remember all that shit. So it's like, that's what you get for lying about my husband. Sorry. Yeah. And then she's trying to turn it around and say, that Louis said about the whole Bodito thing, that he hired a private investigator on everyone. And I mean, I just cleared that up on another podcast, on Kim D's podcast.
Yeah.
I asked her questions, then we started speaking. The only reason why Louis made a mistake because that's the thing, when you're being attacked, you get, sometimes you don't know, you say the wrong thing.
I say it all the time when I was on that show. I couldn't say the right thing. Like I said to Tamara, no wonder why your daughter doesn't speak to your, but how
right. So it's like you're being attacked and you get nervous, or you just say the wrong thing, So it's like, first of all, we did not investigate no one on the show. They're not even, why would he even do that? They're not even, for what reason? He was repeating what Bo Dietl said to him. Bo Dietl said, I hope I say it right, because that's another thing. See, when you repeat something that someone else says, he's like, what do you think? Every person here, I'm sure if you look into them, they all have something on them. Mm-hmm. Am I saying it right? It makes sense, right? So that's what he was saying. So he was just repeating what Bo Dietl said to him. He's like, what do you think? If you look into it, I'm sure every person on your cast, I'm sure they all have a file on them. Meaning not that we are looking at, meaning if you look into someone, I'm sure they have something that you could find on them. Yeah. So he was just, I forgot how Louis said it on the show, but it didn't come out the way that Bo Dietl told him. Right. Do you understand? So,
right. He played telephone.
And he was being attacked, right. And then the wrong thing came out. And that's the thing. It's not a scripted show. We're being ourselves. And Louis, that's the thing. If you really watch some of the men that come on the show now, they do their homework and they really study the show and they know what to say and what not to say. But Louis didn't do that. Louis was himself, and listen. And that's why, I even said to him, follow my lead. I'm like, you don't have to answer to anyone. If someone, even when Margaret was questioning him, remember the first day he came on the show? Yeah. In the backyard, she's questioning him. I said, remember, I got really angry.
Well, you got angry with me because I just reposted what she said, and you got mad at me. Or why are you talking about my husband this way? And I was like, I was just repeating what Margaret was saying about, remember?
Back in the day?
The one that started that.
Yeah, so my whole thing was I said to Louis, you don't owe her an explanation. The only person you need to answer to is me. So it's who the fuck's Margaret? Fuck her, you don't have to answer to her. And that.
I'm sorry. A lot of people, real quick, I know you have to go. And
so that's why I was just saying, that's why I got involved. I was like, you do not need to answer to this, to her, who is she, So if he would have followed my lead, it would have been good. But listen, he was, he tried his best, and thank God. That's the thing too. Imagine me going on his job and being attacked by people that he works with. It's just, listen, it wasn't fair, and I'm glad that. And he was strong because he could have held that against me, and thank God he didn't, obviously,
I have a couple of quick questions, Teresa. One of them is along those lines. I think a lot of the housewife shows don't feel as real as New Jersey does. New Jersey feels like the drama and the conflict and all that is legit. Is that?
No, it is. Unfortunately, it's legit on lies, other lies, it's all real, because I don't speak to my brother and his wife because of everything they've done, and people can't listen. I kept my mouth shut for a long time, guys, because of my parents,
right?
And I wasn't watching the show. I think God was with me. There was a reason why I wasn't watching the show, and now I got my answer, because if I watched the show after my dad passed away. And I couldn't believe the shit that my brother and his wife said about me and my ex. I couldn't, jaw dropping. Did you guys watch those seasons?
Yeah, I watched.
Yeah, it's isn't it? What kind of brother talks about his sister that way?
I know,
right?
I have a brother that does.
One thing that always replays in my head: we pay our bills. It's what do you think? At the time, me and Joe, we didn't pay our bills. Of course we paid our bills. What are you talking about? Right. It's the shit that came out of their mouth. Wow. It's like, if they could treat, if
He's
my
the
brother,
one that tipped off the feds, your brother?
oh, I have no idea. You would have to ask the feds for that. I have no idea. But the thing is, the feds watch all these shows. So, and the things that they were saying on TV doesn't help. You know what I mean? Doesn't. And at the time, my ex had a partner. Guys, my ex had a partner. And why did I go to jail and not his partner?
Right.
He had he had 4 buildings, like huge buildings, 30 something units each. And he was partners with this guy, this other, this. And why didn't he go to jail?
I think I remember reading.
I think the partner ratted me out on on the property that I signed. You understand? His partner ratted me out, said, oh, his wife signed the property. One property I signed because my husband was using my credit. So that's guys, I mean, that's why I walk with my head up high, because I know I'm not a criminal. I signed one property, and then 10 years later, I go to jail for mortgage fraud that my husband used my credit for, because my credit was over 800. I had the best credit. And Joe said, babe, can I use I'm going to use your credit on this one home, because he had a lot of credit I'm sure if you guys buy properties, I don't know, if you have too much out there, then you can't, then you can't use your, you have a limit. So Joe's like, I want to use your credit. I'm going to buy this one home. And I'm like, he's like, all right. And he's like, I'm just going to flip it. And I'm like, all right. And then it's so funny. My mother at the time said, in Italian, like, make sure he pays it, because you have, your credit's so good. And I'm like, Ma, of course he's going to pay it. Like, of course he's going to pay it. But see, moms are always right. She just said, make sure he pays it. So your credit doesn't get fucked up.
Right.
And
I think the
I went to jail for signing that property. Let's see.
You get claustrophobic in there? I would have died.
No, because I have to say, I know, like, God works in mysterious ways. I have to say, I don't know. I guess he was trying to give me a break. I have no idea what he was like doing, because listen, I was a good kid. I grew up in a Catholic family, strict Italian parents. I had a curfew till I got married. I was not allowed to sleep at my boyfriend's house, go on vacation with my boyfriend. I stayed home till I was 27 years old. So I was a good kid.
Right.
And I married Joe. Like, I grew up with him. I had a boyfriend before Joe for 6 years, on and off. And then he cheated on me. And then I told him, go scratch. And then I started running into Joe in clubs. And then Joe was always a good, he was always there for me. Like, I knew him my whole life. So I've just felt safe with him, because I got so hurt from my first boyfriend, and that was it. Like, a year, 8 months later, we got engaged. A year and 8 months later, we got married. And that was it.
Where is Joe right now?
He got deported to Italy, and now he's in the Bahamas.
Why in the Bahamas?
Because there was no work in Italy. And then he heard there was better opportunity in the Bahamas. So now he lives in Bahamas, and he does construction for, he builds like multi-million-dollar homes.
Wow. Good for him.
Hey, Teresa, we have one other question.
I want him to do well, because I do everything on my own, and I want him to do well, so he could help me with the girls.
Sure.
So I've been doing, and I paid off all his debt. So it's like, I've been doing everything on my own. Yeah. So.
That's a strong woman.
I'm trying. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So I want him to do well, and so he could, help, or he's paying for their weddings, because none of the girls could get married in the United States. So if they want Joe to be there, they're all going to have to get married wherever. Yeah, they can't.
No, if they get married in the States.
That's so pathetic that he got deported.
And all these people can come in without the proper paperwork. They're letting millions of people in every year, and your ex-husband can't come back to America.
Right. And look at that girl, Anna, that was just on Dancing with the Stars.
That's what I said. It was on Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah. She's never got her. She's not a citizen.
Right.
She actually, went to jail. Like, you saw her story, what she did. She goes to jail, comes out, and isn't able to stay in the United States. Yeah. Joe stayed 8 months in ICE. He was not allowed to come home. He stayed an extra 8 months because he was fighting it, and he wanted, they wouldn't let him out, and he waited another 8 months, like kind of like prison. It was like prison, and then finally he just gave up because he was there his sentence was 3 years, and then he stayed an extra 8 months because he was fighting it, and I mean, because he couldn't stay in there to they wouldn't let him out to fight it. She said she's fighting it out, doing Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah.
I said the same thing. I compared the same thing to
Joe. She said
that really makes me angry because it's like he got deported.
President, didn't he live here since he was like 3 years old? He paid taxes.
He lived here since he was born. Like his parents had him in Italy, then they moved to America. And then his parents became American citizens. And then it's so crazy. His father did it before he was 18, but then the law changed right after his father did it, that his mom had to do it before he was 18. His mom did it after he was 18. So then that's why, because automatically, if your mom does it before you're 18, you're automatically an American citizen. But his mother became an American citizen after 18. Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
Trust me, I went through it all. And what upsets me is that this woman actually, she did committed fraud, all this stuff. And she did Dancing with the Stars, wearing these beautiful costumes, on Dancing with the Stars, making money.
I said the same thing.
It's like my husband got deported, leaving 4 children, young kids at the time. And then, and I got stuck with everything, paying everything. I got stuck paying everything, like everything. Wow. Like all his taxes, everything.
It doesn't seem fair at all. It just doesn't seem fair. I don't understand it.
I don't either.
You don't think it's fair? How do you think I feel? So that's why I was so angry when Wes brought her up. Wes is like, well, I think she would be good. I'm like, why is she even still in this country?
Why they could separate the father from the children is beyond me, especially when he's been here since he was 3 years old. And
the thing is, we wanted to pay back. Like, look, I paid back, all his back taxes and everything. It's not like we were running away. They were able, they could find them. So, and we wanted to pay everything back. So with him, because I didn't work at the time. I didn't know he filed I think he filed his business taxes, but not personal. So
right.
Who does that? But it's like, whatever. And, he made a mistake and then whatever. And then he got mixed up with, the worst partner ever, because that's the thing. I'm like, why didn't his partner go to jail? And why did I go to jail? And his partner was on so many, I was on one property. His partner was on so many properties with him. And I got charged for mortgage fraud, but not his partner.
I think the partner was a state witness or something. He
You think?
Yeah, that's what happened.
Obviously, yes. Yeah. He gave me up because I was on TV. Because even Joe was like, babe, I think they want you more than they want me. And I didn't even commit the crime. It was like so crazy. Yeah, because I was on TV.
We have one more question for you, Teresa, from one of our patrons.
Now I got my answer. Because I was like, why did I have to go through all that? I got my answer. It was to meet Louie.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
That's true. See?
Yeah, because I kept asking, like, why did I have to go through this? Why did I have to go through this? Now I got my answer finally after all these years. Yeah.
Isn't that funny how God works, right?
I know, because I probably would have never left Joe, but I probably would have, because after I got home, I lost my mom 8 months later. So that's when I was so resentful. And I was just like, oh, hold on. Candy from House of Villains. Hold on. Hello? Yes, I'll open the gate. All right. Love you. Okay, bye. My car's here.
Wait, real quick. Final question from G3, one of our pages. If you could redo one thing in your life, on or off screen, what would it be and why? One thing that you could redo.
If there's one thing I could redo, all right, on or off screen?
Yeah. I mean, not sign the papers for your...
Oh, no, I don't regret anything that I did with Bravo. If I could redo one thing...
Make Joe get his citizenship?
Well, I tried. I did try. It was so complicated, Kelly. Like, I didn't know how to... I tried. I did it before we got... Like, when I got married to him, because he could have became American citizen so easy, because he was married to me. It was just filling out the paperwork. Could you imagine? And I didn't know I should have got a lawyer involved because I never dealt with lawyers before. So I didn't know if we would have got a lawyer, he could have helped us do the paperwork better. And Joe had a green card, so he never had a problem. So he was like, they didn't care about becoming an American citizen.
Yeah.
But if I would have to change one thing, is because I love Louis so much that I wish that he would have listened to me and not have given any of these, chumps on my show, like any of them, like any play at all. You know what I mean? Because he should have just listened to me. Like that day when Margaret questioned him, he should have got up and left and been like, and I would be like, babe, you ready to go? And I'd be like, yes, honey, let's go. Because because they, he was like trying to, he gave them a storyline, like he should have never even fed into him, right? Rick, if somebody asks you something, you just get up and leave. You're not getting paid. You're not getting, right? You weren't getting paid. I'm just saying, like, that's what I'm saying. Louis, like, exactly. No, but my point is, Louis never got paid, and he's like, here he is supporting me. He just met me, and then he gets attacked by my cast members. It's like, so if I could go back, that's because I wouldn't change anything, because I'm real. So it's like what everyone saw is really my real life,
Well, thank you so much for your time. We know you have to go. Have fun at your house of villains.
This was so much fun, guys.
So fun. And
great talking to you
tonight. I'm putting it on right now.
I want to then text me to tell me what you think about it.
Yeah, we're gonna record it.
I can't wait.
I love you guys too, Louis and I.
Thank you. All our best to Louis.
Remember, did you tell everybody we had so much fun in St. Bart's?
Oh,
yes.
I love Lisa and Dana. They're awesome.
We definitely got to go on another vacation together.
Let's do it.
Yeah, we should.
Let's do it.
All right.
Love you guys.
Bye, Teresa. Thank you again.
All right.